Every page you turn is the lesson learned, and these are the chapters of my life. I could not find more fitting words for all of us today as, look, all of our pages are turning, and there are a lot of lessons to be learned. And look, this is just nothing more than a chapter in your life. And so I think I went on a pretty epic rant this morning for live prospecting that really seemed to hit home with everyone. And look, for people like Bill, who's been here a year plus, Mary Murphy, who's going on 2 years plus, Jody's been here for a couple of years, Sarah's been here a year. Look, we've been talking about this for 2 years. So the first thing I want to like literally install in you is if I was putting a disk in your hard drive. Remember they used to do that in computers. You had to put the disk and install. I want to install confidence in all of you. You are so much further ahead than every other human on earth. Now, think about this and look around and, if you don't know what you're looking for, you can't find it. Now, one, I encourage you all to go to Momentum Monday today. And my dear friend and mentor, Rory, speaking today. So he always has something good to share. But what I want you to pay really careful attention to is look at all the comments in the chat, right? And if you look at all the comments in the chat from your peers, your colleagues, and some forums, people that you might compete against, they're all focused on just complete, utter nonsense. The things that everyone's all focused on. I said this on a call in Florida, and I said, I hope I don't offend anyone. And I could see my friends that were sales managers like looking at me like, oh God, what's he going to say? I'm like, if you don't pay attention to the right things, you're not even going to have a check to talk about. So just think about that. True or false? Do you guys have all the right scripts and dialogues you need to be successful? Yes or no? Yeah. Do you guys actually have a system for selling a home from initial conversation to closing that you can learn and master? Absolutely. Have we been talking about this for 2+ years? 100% look at all the other training out there. Nobody has an actual system to learn. It's all like fear-driven stuff. There are people sharing things that don't even make sense to share because there's really no good information. And people are now looking at this as if it was the first time it was announced it's ever going to happen. So they're adapting in real time, where we've been adapting and preparing for this moment for the last 2 years. So I want to start role-playing these things out. And look, I will always tell you this, and I never hide who I am, good, bad, and different. I am an extremely competitive person. Has anyone ever seen The Punisher on Marvel? Like on Netflix? I'm out like the Punisher, like with a vengeance to make sure that you all win. Like, there's no better place in the world to be if you're a real estate agent, in my mind, than part of this community. Because no one else has the training you have. Like, it's already built. It's not like we have to sit here and we're running around trying to arm it. The things that we're running around and trying to do is, how do we make more stuff? Like, an example is that tech video you guys love for sellers. This week, we're producing one for collections for buyers, right? So the only thing that you need to understand is how to have these dialogues, right? So let's start going into some of like the more common ones that I think are going to come up now. Who here has a fear, doubt, or worry about something they've heard in the media and how to talk to a client about it? All right, Rob, we're going with you first. What's your fear, doubt, worry, or what has the client said to you?
I had a client call me, a past client that I've worked with over the years. He's a builder, and he said, "Oh my gosh, what are y'all going to do? Because with no more 6%." And I'd represented him on 2 sales over the years. And I said, "Well, I talked calmly like you had told us to do, and said, there's always change in the marketplace, but we'll just see how everything works out." And then it never came back up again. And I'm actually working with his parents on a listing, probably in the next week or so.
Bingo. Great example. All right, I'm going to try to do this in order. I'm going to have Sarah and then Mary. Keep going. You don't have to feed into this. It's not.
Yes, good morning. So I was with another agent this weekend, and she said on the buyer's brokerage agreement, she presents it as they're walking into their first showing.
Yeah.
So when is a good time in your mind to present the buyer brokerage agreement? We've not used them historically. And
let me come back to this in the end, because today's focused on sellers, right?
Okay.
And be mindful and do not surprise people with this is an appointment. That's a good example of what not to do. They're looking at a home. They're excited about seeing a home. And by the way, here's my agreement. Here's all the stuff we do. You need to sign this so I can get paid. Like, it's bad. Mary.
Good morning, Chirag. Good morning, everybody. So we have this very interesting client. She's going to be selling an income property, a residential, single family house. It's probably worth about 2.5 million. It's going to be her nest egg for retirement. That's it. I mean, this is all she's got. And so we got past the first interview. We did the Med C with her in a Pete's Coffee House with the music blaring, the whole thing. And we got another appointment on Thursday. But her big thing is, it's an election year. I don't know if I should sell in an election year. I'm nervous about it.
You know what the answer is? Sorry, I have the flu, everybody, so you have to bear with me.
Sorry
The
about that.
answer to that is you don't,
I love that.
right?
Yeah.
So get the idea of convincing out of it. If you go into Chanel, are they trying to convince you on why they should buy a bag at this time? No, that's your choice, right? You don't. So what specifically is your plan B if you can't sell the house this year? So ready now, here's how you role play this, right? So go ahead, be the person. Tell me, go ahead, say the statement again.
Oh, Chirag, gosh, I'm really nervous. I want to get the top dollar for my house, and this is my nest egg, and everybody's telling me that it's a bad time to sell in an election year.
So go ahead. Should I sell in an election year? Do I have to?
So what do you think? Should I wait until next March?
Well, you don't have to do anything. It's 100% your choice. So if it would be okay with you, I'll go through a couple different options and we'll make the decision based on data. And ultimately, whatever works best for you, will support you 100%, and we'll have a written plan for the process.
Well, how do I know? Maybe the market's going to be better next year.
Or it could be worse. So let's go back. You had mentioned that these were your motivations. This is what you're most excited about. These are what your expectations are. And let's see if we can make those things happen in the current conditions. And if not, any time that you wait, there's a calculated risk, right? There are factors that come into the carrying cost of the house. There's factors in the market, right? We do know that things like the overall state of the economy, foreign affairs, inflation, all play into this. If I had a crystal ball and I could answer those questions, quite frankly, I'd be one of the wealthiest people in the world. So let's focus on what we can control, and that's the information, interpreting the information and what we choose to do with it.
Love it. Thank you.
And look, you can't have commission breath. Well, you should sell it now, and now's a great time. And we ate those words. The interest rates are going to go up for years, right? Like it's a boy who cried wolf. Look, you have to come from a place of number one, remember the keys to effective conversation. It's always their choice. And number 6, don't be attached to the outcome. I talk to people all the time. Why should I work with you? You don't have to. What specifically had you take the time out of your day to want to talk to me now? I didn't call you and cold call solicit you, right? Like you asked for this phone call, not me. Well, what do you do that's different? I don't really know what I do that's different. I'm like, the only thing I could clearly tell you is like, without talking about the experience of our clients, is that we only work with Compass agents. That's one distinct difference between us and every other company in the world. Right. So if that's a value to, great. If that's of no value, then you have to say, what specifically you're looking for. This is like playing ping pong, everybody. Right. My favorite one, and then Amy, you had your hand up, is that, so I've been getting this a lot. Why should I hire you to sell my house? Well, you don't have to hire me. When you say that to somebody, it's like the Mike Tyson saying, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face. Do you think any client expects when they ask you that question to say, well, you don't have to actually hire me? Is that a common answer to this question? No. Well, you should hire me because I'm going to be able to get you the most exposure and get you the most eyeballs on your property and get you the best price. And, I have your best interest at heart and I'm going to get you top dollar. Like that stuff is over. You all are just like, Does anyone here believe in affirmations? All of you should write this down. I am a luxury agent. I provide a luxury experience, and I only attract the people that want luxury agents and that are looking for a luxury experience. And you should say that 1,000 times in your mind. I saved a video that I wanted to play for all of you today by Dr. Joe Dispenza, which talks about habits and mindset that we're going to talk about a little bit today that'll help you like kind of use neuroscience and brain psychology to bring new meanings to life. I am a luxury agent. I provide a luxury service, and I only attract clients that I only attract clients that want a luxury agent providing a luxury service. So, okay, now here's the next one. The commission one, right? Like, well, why should I hire? Well, you don't have to hire me, or like why should I pay you this much money, right? Who's worries about hearing that? Right? Like, why should I have to pay you? Like, here's the simplest thing. One, you guys are like in a state of shock today. Like everyone's just sitting here looking at me. I know what you guys think about. I know you. I know a lot of you. So here's the answer. Why should I pay you blank percent? Well, you don't really have to. Like in any service, right? I see Cherish is here today. You're gonna love this one because this is I think this is like my new favorite framing question I've ever came up with of all time. So here's the anticipation. It's this. Well, you don't have to. Essentially, in any service or product, whether you're flying on a plane, whether you're staying in a hotel, whether you're buying clothes, shoes, a handbag, there's a variety of different services. I provide a luxury service and a curated luxury experience. And ultimately, at the end of our conversation today, you have to see if it's right for you. And if it is, I support you 100%. And if it isn't, I support you 100%. Do you see how we talk about that? Like we have a buyer's presentation. And in one of the slides that I'm updating, right, we were like all done to release it, and then all this stuff came out. So now Kate and I are sitting here taking one more like pass through all of this stuff. But I want to make a page and tell me what you all think about this. What type of experience are you looking for? It's going to show the Holiday Inn, the Ritz-Carlton, a crappy handbag, like a Coach handbag, not that it's bad, a Chanel handbag, first class Coach, right? Shoes, the difference, right? And it's going to say at the bottom of it, wherever you go, they're all different types of services. Which type of service and experience are you looking for? And then you ask them, are you looking for this side, the discount one, or this one, the luxury one? That works good, doesn't it? You don't think so, Amy? I do. You try it when you show people. So the whole point of a frame, right? And the people in the middle are the people that are going to choose, right? You're going to say the most amazing thing is that regardless of the price point that you're shopping in, we provide the same luxury experience. Because regardless of price point, selling or buying a home is one of the largest financial decisions you'll make in your life. So we believe in something that can cost hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars, that there's only one type of service that every client deserves. And it's a really easy thing to wrap people's head around. Because the whole point of framing is to get them into the mindset from that slide that you're like every other product and service in the world. Lawyers, doctors, dentists, everywhere you go, there's this scale of service providers. And what I have found time and time again in my life, and God knows I've hired a ton of employees over the last, well, our company turns actually 4 on April 1st. So we've completed our 3rd full year. So I guess we're 3, we just turned 4, whatever it is. I've had my fair share of experiences in hiring people. Gone through a lot of people because I'm learning, right? I had a brokerage, but a brokerage doesn't require like several like different employees and contractors. And what I've always found is one thing that's tried and true. You get what you pay for in life. And as my parents taught me, there's certain things in life when you do, it's not where you look for a discount. It's like, look, you have like, you're in Westport and Fairfield, a lot of high-end clients, right? And someone's like, well, I don't really know if I'm going to use a broker. That's great. So I would say, is it safe to say under that same assumption that you trade your own stocks and plan your own retirement on Ameriprise, Charles Schwab, or one of those websites? No, I use a financial planner. Well, why is that? Because that's their job, right?
Mhm.
So framing is the essence of using something that they hold to believe true in their present belief and value system and associated to what you're about to offer. So it makes sense to them. No frame, no sense. What's your question? Huh. And then I see Andres, you had a question too? Amy, what was your question?
It's not really a question, and maybe this isn't the right time to say it, but I mean, I was feeling relatively optimistic at the end of this week. And then over the weekend, I got numerous phone calls from clients who've all listened to this very incendiary podcast, The Daily from the New York Times. Have you listened to that?
No.
Chirag,
I don't listen to anything.
you have to listen to it because people in Fairfield County are listening to it.
Can you just give me the cliff notes and I'll give you all the scripts to it?
Well, cartel, monopoly, NAR, you know, industry is changing as we know it, you know, that people have been, the NAR is basically conspired. I mean, the podcast is a very well-known podcast in this area. People really listen to it and respect it, as I do.
How long is the podcast?
It's 20 minutes.
All right, I could send me a link. I'll listen.
Listen to it. You really listen to it because it's so inflammatory. It's so misrepresentative, and I understand the value proposition. I understand all that, but I just think that industry is going down in terms of the whole commission structure in general. Which
look, in the end of the day, look, people are going to have information. And one of the things that I know that I actually can do to help all of you, I've seen some of the dumb shit, excuse my language, today that people started sharing on their socials that other people have. It's not good, right?
Yeah.
And I think when you start hearing cartel, monopoly, and everything else, these people so conveniently forget that all of you were part of them getting record high prices for their homes year after year after year, right? So number one, you can't engage in these conversations and defend them. Second, you defend it, you own it, right?
no, absolutely, and I agree with you 100%. I mean, I was really shocked to hear what they were saying. I mean, I was really surprised. So it just brought up a lot of questions with my clients.
What do people say?
Excuse me?
What kind of questions do you get?
Oh, like, can you believe this? Oh my God. Like, you know, they're just like the whole industry is falling apart. And I mean, I've been able to talk to them about it, but these aren't people that are like about to list their properties.
You wake up in the morning and
Yeah.
you get out of bed.
I was trying to cue the video while you said that.
I know it's not accurate at all, Chirag.
But here's the thing. So when somebody says that to you, so you're saying you're gonna say I'm Griselda Blanco or I'm Pablo Escobar now? Like,
No.
I get it.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying the public perception is there's a lot of misinformation out there. It's just very concerning.
But here's the reality of this, and I'm gonna say this as somebody who sold real estate. I worked on a 30,000 person board on the executive committee for 4 years. A lot of the stuff they're saying is true about real estate agents, right? Like the idea that every human, because they have a license and is a buyer's agent, get paid the same amount of money as all of you, regardless of knowledge, experience, brokerage, technology, network, resources team, is crazy. Like it's nuts. Like there are 2.1 million licensees. More than 50% of these people hold licenses and don't even do a transaction a year. Like yesterday, I'll give you a perfect example. Yesterday, I had a day with just my son. So my girlfriend and my daughter, they took a girls' day. We took a boys' day. I asked my son what he wanted to do. And for whatever reason, he's like, can we go look at open houses? And I go, okay. And so like we went and looked at open houses. So we went to this one open house and there was a Coldwell Banker agent. And I remember going through the house and he goes, Daddy, can I ask you a question? He goes, why when we walked through the house was the first thing he asked us, why, or not asked us, why was the first thing he told us was the year the house was built? I don't know. I was like, well, let me ask you another question. I go, what he didn't ask us, he didn't ask me anything about like what I wanted in a room, or he didn't ask you any of that stuff. Like he didn't ask us anything. He wasn't interested in us, right? Number one. We went to 2 other open houses, right? Like one woman gave us information about the market. The other woman was a pleasant conversation, both Compass agents, right? But not one person in the 3 houses we went to asked us a single thing about us. None. Right? Some good information. But why would a father and son on a Sunday afternoon where you could be doing anything in the world that was nice outside, why would we be walking through open houses? Curiosity, right? Look, in the end of the day, the media's job is to do one thing, get eyeballs and attention, right? And there's a thing in sales called level shifting. It's like where you take the conversation from one place to another. Yeah, I've read this thing and everything else, and I could say, yeah, I completely understand. And in some aspects, I agree with you, because there's 2.1 million real estate agents, and we know in any service, right? And if they're consultants or something like that, same thing in your industry, not everyone has the same experiences created the same. And that's all I would say about it. I would not engage in conversations that's not based on fact, right? So I would actually like, and I don't know how I'm going to do this, but it's something that I want to look into, is making a video that talks about all these like headlines and stuff like that, and say, hey, my name is Chirag Shah. I sold real estate for 14 years. I have over 15,000 hours coaching the top agents at Compass and #1 company. Let me share with you the part of real estate that nobody talks about. Is when you're a real estate agent and then go into it, right? Do you know what I would be leaning into if I were all of you? The number one thing that you need to do, and then I'm going to play this video and then I'll stay on after for any questions you have. Number one, you need to start creating your own narrative. Do you know what narrative is nowhere online for real estate agents? They're posting the dumbest stuff that I could humanly imagine. Number one, if I was a real estate agent, I wouldn't even be posting about this because it is a proposed settlement. But the whole part of being strategic is going to the ball before it gets there, right? You don't wait for the ball to get there. You go to where the ball is. So when the ball arrives, you're there, right? If I'm all of you, how many people have clients that are literally like their friends, and if like I really need your help with something, they would just do it for you? Everybody does. Everyone does. So I would go in there, and if you're Tree and Amy and you're in this area and we're close to you, we'll do the videos very inexpensively, but you can have professionally produced videos. I'm going all in. If I was a real estate agent today, me, Chirag, and I'm going to tell this to every one of the clients, I am doubling, tripling, and quadrupling down on the human experience of real estate. The human experience, the part that nobody talks about. And I'm going to get my clients, the ones I had the most deep emotional connections with, I'm going to have a straight conversation. But, you know, there is a lot of misinformation out there, which is okay because that it happens, right? But what we really want to make sure is that the people that want that same experience that it's easy to find, and that people can understand, like, that buying a house is not like going on Amazon and hitting the buy it now button for a product. Right. So I would have my clients in here like, yeah, you know, I heard I've seen the recent news about the NAR settlement, but let me share with you my experience. If I had to hire a real estate agent, and even if I had to pay for it, I'd do it all over again. And here's why. There's an emotional connection. There's and share their story of struggle and how you help solve it. You know, so if you're watching this video and you're thinking of buying a home, I highly encourage you to think about a real estate agent, because I know I never buy a house without mine. I don't know anything about living in Westport, right? Like nothing. Like I can tell you where 5 things are, right? So there's a person I've known since I opened the Compass office here, and I've been calling her for 5 years now. Where do I go for this? Where do I go for that? Like, and you need people to tell your story. As an industry, if NAR had half a brain, they would send a message out to 2.1 million realtors and say, look, this is our moment to show our value. Here's the script. Here's the process. Here's the questions you ask, and I would get every single person to start telling human stories of what it's like working with a real estate agent. No one talks about this. Are you all therapists? Yes. Are you all people that find more than bedrooms, bathrooms? You talk about communities, home, lifestyles, futures, memories, past experiences, marital issues, death, divorce. You don't just put a house on the market and stick a sign in. Like, give me a break. So that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Right?
The conversation that Leonard had with Matt Spangler was very good. Did
Yeah,
you see that? That was really helpful.
I did. I got to watch it in the office over here. It was really cool.
Are we there? Yeah.
Yes, it was in our office. So look, here's the other thing. The one thing that we're going to post a recording in the portal just so everyone can have easy access. So look, here's a couple of things. And if anyone wants to stay after watch this video, I encourage you to, as it'll give you a different idea as to how to think about what's going on now. Number one, do not. We have a recipe. By virtue of all of you, the recipe works really well, right? You have great people on this call like Jody and Cherish who lead incredible accountability groups. Jody, do the people that use our stuff, does it work? Yes. They literally have the first 5 minutes of their call.
Yes.
Share your wins from Schrag's materials, right? So here's what I'm going to tell you. There is never more important of a time to be focused than there is now. Do not go to all these other trainings. I've never said this in my life, and I probably will never say it again. If you're looking to cook a recipe and have the food taste a certain way, you have to follow the recipe. Do not go anywhere. Do not go to all these different information places. I would be staying as close to this community as humanly possible because it's positive, it's thoughtful, and it's built on an actual system and strategy, which nobody else has. No one else has an actual system, right? So just dive in. The only thing that you can control is your calendar and the promises you make to yourself. Like, we were here, like, we'll answer your questions. Like, we're not going anywhere. Right? It is so important not to do that. And look, I and our team have built that end-to-end seller system for you. Like, it's done. But that is a 5-star curated luxury client experience. If any of you want to know how to bring this into your value proposition in marketing and branding to generate leads, personalized marketing, your past clients have never been more important than they ever have than today. Because guess what? If I wanted to work with Mary Murphy, you know, I'm going to refer her to somebody and they're going to ask me a simple question. Was it worth it to work with her? And even if based on this whole thing, you had to pay her money, would you do it? The client says, yes, you're done. Bye. You're validated. So you have to do this. Matt's program, Matt Spangler, who built Marketing Center and the Compass brand for the newer people, we collaborated on building a program because we want programs that we support to be in conjunction with ours. Matt, and in full transparency, I tried to talk him out of doing this because I thought this was crazy. He decided to design, and I know a handful of you here signed up for this program. He decided to design all of his worksheets, like the stuff you actually need to implement what he talked about in the session, in Google Docs. And he's agreed to answer every one of your questions in Google Docs. So when you're like, well, what is my value proposition in marketing? And you get stuck after what he said, you can go in the document, you could tag him in the document, and he's going to answer it. So the course is $1,000. If you have the money and it's within your budget to do it, I highly, highly, highly encourage you to do it. I literally asked him if I could sign up because we're launching a studio business. I'm like, can I be a client for my other business? And he said, sure. So I'm going through this course and I paid just as everyone else is because I want to be a student. I want to invest in the course and I want to do it. So I'll have my own worksheet that I'll be able to share with all of you as well. But the main thing is, look, we're all here to support you. It's not every day you have people like myself and Matt, who's literally built this entire brand, showing you the inner workings of Marketing Center, personalized marketing, and how to really develop your value proposition and how to share it through marketing and branding to get leads in business. It is the most exciting thing that I'm excited to go through as well. And so are many of you. So, you know, if you're local to the area and you signed up, one of the sessions, we're going to host a happy hour and watch party after. A watch party followed by a happy hour. So there's just different stuff here. And look, like role playing, write down every single conversation that people ask you. All of them, write them down. Like write them down. Because if you're not documenting this and start having a whole build of talk tracks, Think about it. Those are like the 12 tracks that are on the CD, and the lyrics of the song are the words and the scripts that you use. All right, I don't have a hard stop right now, so does anyone have any questions?
I have no question. I just have a feedback because thank you, Chirag. With
Yeah.
all the preparation we had, I think the whole settlement deal is not a big deal because if we just apply what we've learned, everything is good.
Yeah. I don't think anyone realized, Miriam, how much further ahead you are than everybody else. I really don't. Everyone's trying to make this in real time as if it was something new because no one wanted to put time on, right? Being a good leader is being a visionary, and being a good leader is like fighting for your people, which are all of you in times of challenge and struggle. So watch this video. It's from Dr. Joe Dispenza, and it talks about how to break the habit of being yourself. So in times of fear, doubt, worry, anxiety, uncertainty, these are the kinds of things you need to lean into, because if you understand how your mind works, it is so powerful. If you don't understand how your mind works, it is decrippling to you. So here, let me put this on. I'm going to play the video. We can all watch it together. Can you all hear
Get
this?
out of bed on the same exact side as you did the day before. You shut the alarm clock off.
The sound disappeared.
Can't hear.
No more sound is coming up.
Okay, let's see. There's a new Zoom. And this is just completely not helpful. Oh, here we go.
So if you wake up in the morning
Better?
and you get out of bed on the same exact side as you did the day before, you shut the alarm clock off with the same.
The sound is off again.
Sound's gone again, the same place.
Yeah, same place.
Self to remember who you are. Then you get into the shower and you wash yourself in
Now?
the same routine way. Then you groom yourself to look like everybody expects you to look. Then you go downstairs and you drink coffee out of your favorite mug. Then you drive to work the same way as you did the day before. You see the same people that push the same emotional buttons. You do the exact thing that you know how to do and you memorize and can do so well that you're an expert at. Then you hurry up and rush home so you can hurry up and check your emails, so you could hurry up and go to bed, so you can hurry up and do it all over again. Now, here's my question. Did your brain change at all that day? We could say that you were thinking the same thoughts, performing the same actions, that create the same experiences, that produce the same emotions, but secretly expecting something to change in your life. Would you agree? So then, as the environment turns on different circuits in your brain, you begin to think equal to your environment. As you see the same people and go to the same places and do the same things at the same time, it's the external environment that's turning on different circuits in your brain, causing you to think equal to everything that you know. And as long as you think equal to everything that's familiar and known to you, what do you keep creating more of? Same life. Now, the quantum law is still applying to you. You're just thinking equal to everything that you know, and you keep creating more of the same. To change, to truly change, is to think greater than your environment. And every great person in history knew this. Whether it was William Wallace or Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther King or Queen Elizabeth I or Joan of Arc, they all had a vision. They all had an idea. Couldn't see it, couldn't smell it, couldn't taste it, couldn't feel it, but it was alive in their mind. It was so alive in their mind that they began to live as if that reality was actually happening now. So can you believe in a future that you can't see or experience with your senses yet? but you've thought about enough times in your mind that your brain is literally changed to look like the event has already happened? Neuroscience says it's absolutely possible. Now, your personality creates your personal reality. That's it. It's that simple. And your personality is made up of how you think, how you act, and how you feel. So the present personality who's sitting here today, you, has created the present personal reality called your life. Would you agree? Would you also agree then, if you wanted to create a new personal reality, that on a fundamental level you would have to change the thoughts that you are thinking, the behaviors and habits that you're demonstrating, and the emotions that you've memorized that's become part of your identity? And most people try to create a new personal reality as the same personality, and it never works. We have to become somebody else. So then, as you keep thinking the same thoughts, performing the same actions, and living by the same experiences that produce the same emotions, there's a principle in neuroscience that says nerve cells that fire together wire together. And if you keep repeating the same states of mind and body over and over again, your brain begins to fire in the same sequences, in the same patterns and same combinations. And whenever you make your brain work in a certain way, that's called mind. Mind is the brain in action. So as you remind yourself every day who you think you are, you're causing your brain to fire in the exact same ways. And as they fire and wire in the same patterns over time, the brain moves into a very finite signature, and that's called your personality. Now, that box in your brain isn't literally a box, but it's the most commonly wired, neurologically fired programs that run redundantly because we keep doing the same things over and over again. To change your mind, then, is to make the brain work in new sequences and new patterns and new combinations, to begin to make the brain work differently. And the one ingredient that allows us to do that is knowledge or information, because every
So do you all get what I'm talking about now? I need all of you to see a reality past July 23rd that your five senses can't see, believe, touch, smell, or even exist. And the knowledge that you have today, the work that we do when everyone else is in fear, doubt, worry, uncertainty, chaos, drama, is going to make a difference. I promise you. This could either be the best chapter of your life or the most challenging chapter of your life. But just remember, you have the pen, you write your own story, and you could write yourself in this book as anyone you want to be. Do you want to be the victim, the victor, or the hero? If I'm writing my journey, I'm writing the hero's journey. So start understanding how your brain works, start writing down good affirmations, start filling yourself with different knowledge, and start firing on your brain differently, and be so clear on what this vision is going to be like. As a company, I could not be more excited. When I heard this lawsuit, I was literally jumping up and down because I was like, everything that our community needs, we already have. And the most important thing is the only people I'd be sharing time with and having these conversations with are each other, because you're all on the same path. You all have the same information, and you all can come from a place of confidence. So I wanted to take the extra 10 extra minutes out of your schedule today, and I've added time onto all of our calls so we had the opportunity to do this, because this is a really important message. I found it more important than just role playing a script, because look, being tone deaf is like not paying attention to really what's going on and where people are. And as David always says, you have to meet people where they are. And I think this is where a lot of us were today. And I think this video kind of ties it all together. So as always, with love in my heart, I love you all. Sarah, I promised I'd answer your question. You have to have a consultation, right? So I always find it, if someone's going to spend that much money and they don't even want to talk to somebody before and they just want to go out, like it's kind of haphazard, right? Like first dates on me, you can go out and see some houses and just tell them, look, the whole point of this is seeing if I'm a good fit for you and that you're a good fit for me. And My expectation is anyone looking to purchase a home will want to have a conversation, have a strategy and a plan, and discuss our working relationship together. Discuss our working relationship together and what that actually looks like. And if they don't want to do it, they're not right for you. There's a whole world of new realities that'll be created here, and we'll keep working on them. I'm gonna start my own little campaign on like what is a real estate agent and different things for people to think about, and we'll all just keep moving forward. But I reach out to all of your clients and start getting those human experiences. That is what I would be talking about on social media. That is what you want to remind people of. Because when people listen to podcasts like the ones Amy's alluding to, is that's what they're omitting in it. There's not a single media outlet that wants to paint a real estate agent as a good person. I even saw a video, I don't know if it's real or not because it's online, of Joe Biden saying real estate agents should cut their commissions to make home buying more affordable for buyers.
He had, yeah, some national podcast last week.
Yeah, exactly. Well, then somebody should have cut the lawyer's commission that got $40 million and more. They got 40% of the total settlement, saying they don't know how long the case is, they have expenses, and they have to continue to do work. Wow, that sounds like really similar to what you do every day, and you guys charge a hell of a lot less than 40% of a total amount.
Well, he basically said it was going to make the whole industry more affordable for home buyers.
What is it?
He said it was going to make the whole industry more affordable for home buyers. That's basically what Biden said.
Yeah, and well, the only thing the government should focus on is inflation and keeping rates at a reasonable level. So
I mean, I was shocked to hear him say that. It was crazy.
yeah,
But anyways,
we're not getting into politics here, as it's a tabooed subject here in America today, but listen, it is the whole world that we live in today just does not make sense. Like there is no sensible stuff, right? And I'm choosing my words very carefully because I have a lot of thoughts on all this, but it just doesn't make sense.
yeah,
You know,
true.
if you look on the street and you see a veteran with a missing limb that's homeless, these are the people who actually need help, right? If you go to San Francisco, it's filled with people that need help. You have the Department of Justice. There's nothing wrong. Like this industry didn't have a problem. Some bureaucratic people thought that this was a good idea and this is what they wouldn't stop, right? No one colluded in anything. The only company that had anything in their contracts, and that's why they're getting sued, that's why they want $4.6 billion, is the people of whatever, I think Home Services, whatever Warren Buffett's company is. And they said, if you work here, you have to charge a minimum commission of this. But the last time I checked, as a business, you can have a minimum of what you charge people. And if people don't like it, they can leave. No one forced people to pay commissions, right? Even some of the places that I've enjoyed like getting information the most have had terrible informations. You know, one woman said like sellers had to pay 5 or 6% commission standard, but never knew they could pay any less. Yeah, right. That's a joke. There have been $500 options to list properties on the MLS and just pay buyer's agent commissions for a decade. Redfin has a model where you could list at 1%. So if that was the case, why aren't these the most thriving businesses in America? Oh yeah, because they need all of you. Your service, your expertise, your dedication, your knowledge, your resources, your access to technology, your network. So go on offense, control the controllables, use your clients, help get your story out. And as always, love in my heart, I love you all. Please come back in 15 minutes for live prospecting, and we'll talk a little bit more about like getting in the dirt and the weeds of all this stuff and what to say to your clients and how to really elicit what you want out of their experiences. So if any of you have questions about Matt's program or anything else, Chirag at ChiragShahCoaching.com. And listen, we'll just sit here and we'll keep just chipping away at this together. And Amy, if you text me a link to that podcast, I will listen to it this week.
What's your, oh, I don't have your number, do I?
I'll send you an email.
Okay.
All right. Or send me an email to Chirag at Chirag Shah Coaching. But I encourage you all to just make a Google alert that says NAR settlement. I would be aware of what all the media says. And then in any of these articles, like there's NBC News put out something that said the end of 6% commission. That's not even in the court papers. And there's never like, look, we're in Fairfield County. It's a 4% commission market in many places, right? There never even was 6% commission here. So it's very tone deaf and wrong. And it's just
Totally.
geared to get eyeballs and headlines. It's the same reason that the Real Deal slams Compass all the time, is because if you look at it, every time they slam Compass, it has the most engagement out of anything they do. So don't worry, just keep being yourselves. It'll all work out. So I'll see you all in 15 minutes. And tomorrow we have the buyer experience, and we'll just keep on rocking. All right, bye, everybody.